Yo everybody and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Steins Gate Zero. Suzuha sighed as she took her shower. Since it was summer, she set the water temperature to low. It was barely any hotter than tap water. As long as the water was pounded down on her, she would feel like all the bad memories were being washed away. She slapped her cheeks with both hands and turned off the water. The small, towered room suddenly became quiet. In the silence, she vigorously toweled off her hair. This building was never intended for anyone to live in. Not only was there very little room, there wasn't even a place to change. It was small and there was no windows, and the steam from the shower room built up, making it a pleasant sauna in summer. Supposedly, a tower in Okabe would sit naked next to the fans to get away from the heat and moisture. Of course, that was only when the other girls, as well as Luca, went around. But Suzuha couldn't do that. There were those huge scars on her chest. If she was careless and Yuki saw them, she'd have a big problem. She also forced herself to change within this small space. It's dark. The second she left the shower room, she realized something was wrong. The lights were off in the part behind the curtain. The lights were off in the part behind the curtain where the lab room was. She was sure she left all the lights on when she'd gone to take a shower. She didn't remember turning them off. Still completely naked, she flung open the curtain. She dropped to the floor, ready to move. She could tell by the light from the shower that there was no one else there. She didn't hear any breathing. She didn't feel any other presence. Did Dad come back? And then when he left, he turned the lights off? No, that can't be right. She looked around the room and saw that things had been moved in a way that an amateur wouldn't be able to notice. The tower's computer desk, the sofa area, the bookshelves, even the mini kitchen, someone had gone through them all. From the look of it, the same was probably true of the development room. Suzuha glanced over all the areas where she kept her guns. The closest was a sofa that she used as a bed. She wanted to have one easily available if she was attacked while she slept, so she cut out the back of one of the sofa cushions and hid a suppressed semi-automatic pistol in it. It was just a .32 caliber for self-defense, so it wouldn't do much damage unless you had good aim. But it was small and relatively quiet, which made it the best choice for a place like this. Suzuha tensed all of her muscles, coiling like a spring, and slowly moved towards the sofa without making sound. As she did, she tried to notice any changes in the surrounding area. There was a small sound in the development room. It was tiny creaking on the floor, to which you'd usually pay no mind, but it was more than enough for Suzuha. In an instant, she moved from quiet to action. She cleared the distance to the sofa in an instant and quickly drew her gun. She held it ready and slipped into the shadow of the refrigerator. From this position, she could barely see into the development room. Anyways, the room became silent again, but this time the intruder in the other room didn't try to hide their presence. Try anything and I'll shoot. Hands on your head, come out slowly. Suzuha threatened the intruder in a low voice, but the intruder seemed completely unconcerned as they exposed themselves to Suzuha's gave. Must be pretty hot when in this weather. Why not at least take off your helmet? The intruder was wearing a motorcycle suit, just like before. Even the helmet was the same. The leather suit clung tight to the skin, revealing a voluptuous and perfect proportioned body. It was clearly a woman. Reminds me a lot of Shining Finger. What you're looking for isn't there. It's in my pocket. Suzuha pointed towards the entrance of the shower room. The shirt she'd taken off was lying there on the floor. The girl in the motorcycle suit turned her head, but because the face mask was down, Suzuha couldn't read her expression. You should know better than to drop that. It's something Mami gave you. Right, Kagari? The second she spoke, Kagari Shia was the first to move. She drew a dislodged military knife that she must have been hiding behind her back and closed the gap between herself and Suzuha in an instant. Suzuha pointed her gun at her legs and pulled the trigger, carefully aiming away from her vitals. She heard the small pop of the suppressed .32 and saw Kagari lose her balance and fall. Or she thought she did, but it was a feint. Fate? Never sure how you pronounce that word. She only pretended to lose her balance. In fact, she changed direction and was heading for the shower room. It seemed her first goal was to get what she came for. Huh? After firing only one shot, Suzuha realized. Even a .32 should have more recoil than this. She fired again, but Kagari didn't flinch even for a moment. A blank? How? At some point, all the bullets in Suzuha's gun had been swapped with blanks. That instant panic was all it took. Kagari reached out for the shirt on the floor in the front of the shower room. No way! Suzuha gave up on firing and flung the gun at Kagari. There was a dull thud as the hard barrel slammed into her neck. Caught off balance, she staggered before she could grab the shirt. Well, we did get confirmation that was Kagari by the voice thing. See, definitely her. She could hear Kagari's voice for the first time from within the helmet. Suzuha jumped. She kicked the off-balance Kagari as hard as she could with her toned muscle legs. There's no time to hold back. This was no time to hold back. This was no time to hold back. Kagari went flying all the way to the edge of the room. That had to have broken a few ribs. Suzuha jumped toward her to continue her attack. But with terrifying speed, Kagari leapt off the ground and charged at Suzuha. There wasn't enough time to come to a full stop. A sharp blade swept by mere centimeters from her exposed abdomen. If she pulled back even a few tenths of a second later, the knife would have fatally sliced open her gut. You bitch! The blood rushed to Suzuha's head. Kagari was serious. She was planning to kill her. There was no hesitation in her movements. Suzuha leapt back and searched for something she could use as a weapon, but the other guns were probably no different. There was a good chance that they'd all had their ammo swapped with blanks too. It'd even be possible that all her self-defense knives had been taken too, which left. There were several kitchen knives stored in the kitchen. Yuki had brought them over to use in teaching the other girls how to cook. All the while, Suzuha is still naked, might I just remind you all. But Kagari had evidently noticed them as well, as she was moving to keep Suzuha from reaching them. Upa, go! Looks like you've had a lot of practice. Sad to believe you're the same girl who spent her time sobbing inside the time machine. I'm surprised. Suzuha kept a distance from Kagari as she slowly moved along the wall. Her competitive drive burned even deeper as she tried to come up with a new way to overcome her disadvantage. Here, Kagari, this is what you're after, right? She picked up her her shirt from the front of the shower room and took out the green keychain out of her pockets. What's wrong? Come get it. Her fingers moved as if to crush it. I'm just wondering what would happen if Daru Mayuri walked in right now. She could see Kagari twitch. For the first time, she could detect a hint of emotion behind the helmet. And in an instant, she threw it at Kagari's stomach. The keychain flew in a slow arc like she was tossing it to a friend. Something they loved was thrown like that. Even the faintest warrior would instinctively reach out with both hands to grab it. Kagari was no exception. She carefully held her mother's memento in both her empty hands and her empty left hand and right hand that still clutched the knife. Using the slow arc of the keychain as camouflage, Suzuha ran at her in a straight line. Her right fist connected hard with Kagari's stomach. Then her left arm smushed Kagari's head to the side. Kagari's body fell to the ground, her right shoulder taking the brunt of the fall. Suzuha could hear the sound of her joints dislocating. The knife slipped from her grasp. Right, yeah, like I said, naked. Suzuha got behind her and mounted her, twisting her right arm mercilessly. At the same time, she slipped her own left arm around Kagari's neck and squeezed hard. She could hear something like a moan from Kagari's throat. She could both hear and feel the bones in her arm and neck cracking. Stay put, I'm not going to kill you. But Kagari picked up the knife on the floor with her left hand and once again tried to use it on Suzuha. Suzuha was forced to squeeze her arm and neck even harder. Stop it, Kagari. I understand how you feel now, but it's wrong. It's wrong. But Kagari didn't stop. If anything, she tried even harder to pull Suzuha away. What kind of training did she get? Even in all the battles she'd been in, this much pressure on two different spots was enough to get even the toughest soldiers to submit or fall unconscious. Terrified, Suzuha squeezed even harder. At this rate, she wouldn't simply knock her out. She would really kill Kagari. But if she stopped, Kagari would kill her. What should she do? Fix it, Suzuha. It hurts. It hurts. Don't fall for it. And then she heard a sound, weak voice from inside the helmet. It startled her, and she relaxed both her arms. But that was just what Kagari had hoped for. The knife came very close to cutting Suzuha's left arm. Also, I just realized, didn't Suzuha said she had a lot more scars and stuff on her body? She looked pretty unscathed. I know she had some on her chest that was really bad, but still, I thought she was more scarred than that. Oh well. When she let go to dodge it, Kagari shook her off and kicked at her hips with both legs. Suzuha was slammed back hard into the computer desk, and for a moment she couldn't breathe. She fell to the floor, and the printer and monitor crashed mercilessly on her naked body. She forced herself to stand up, gasping hard as she did so. Kagari's breathing was heavy too. Her right arm was pointed in an impossible direction and hanging limp. She wouldn't be able to use it for a while, probably. But her left arm was still holding the knife. You learned some dirty tricks, haven't you? Suzuha glared at Kagari's face, now that she could see what it looked like behind the helmet. The two of them fell silent as they tried to catch their breath. The tension in the air was so thick that it was difficult to move a muscle. Sweat rolled down her forehead into her eyes, but she still didn't blink. As she waited for Kagari to make the next move. It was the sound of the front door opening that broke their stalemate. Hey Suzuha, did I just hear a loud noise? Suzuha felt a chill run down her spine when she heard Utaru's voice. Huh? Why is it so dark? No, Dad, stay back! She yelled at the exact same instant he turned on the lights. The sudden brightness was enough to make Suzuha flinch for an instant. Kagari was wearing a full-faced helmet, and that made all the difference. She leapt towards the tower just a moment before Suzuha. Kagari's blank knife went up to his throat. For some reason, I know it hasn't or whatever happened, because, you know, she's got him at knife point by the sounds of it. But I would have loved it so much if Itaru just instinctively punched her in the face, like, broke the helmet. Guy spun behind him and used Itaru's huge body as a shield. Suzuha staggered towards him, again, gritting her teeth. Let go, Kagari. Lay one finger on Dad, and I don't care who you are, Kagari, I'll kill you. But Kagari remained silent as she headed outside the door with her hostage. And then, in the next moment, she shoved him forward. Itaru lost his balance and fell towards Suzuha. Suzuha fell to the ground underneath his weight. Itaru had barely managed to support himself with his arms and legs to keep from crushing her. Move! Suzuha tried to shove him off using a little more force than she may have intended, but Itaru was so huge it would take him a moment to get up. This is why I told you to lose weight. This precise moment in time. What? She was getting angry. She somehow managed to crawl out under him and quickly tried to follow Kagari. Suzuha, wear this! Itaru was still laying on the ground and tossed the naked Suzuha her shirt. She grabbed it and quickly put it on and then ran outside. The bike! When she looked around the street, the girl in the Microsoft motorcycle leathers weren't there. There was no way to even know where she'd gone. She got away. It'd be dangerous to run around trying to find her now. There's a chance the tower would be attacked while she wasn't at the lab. What was that? Kagari-tan? Itaru came outside as well. Yeah, I'm almost certain. I see. So this is how it's going to be with the two of us in the end. The bruises and the wounds were bad enough, but the pain that ached in her heart was the worst of all. You know, I really did like her. Yeah. She was small, but so brave, and she always did her best to protect Big Sis Mayu. I thought of her a lot. I thought of her like a little sister. But now, she's completely my enemy. Itaru straightened up her short sleeves. You know, you look like a slutty girl in the H game right now, Suzuha. Huh? What? Suzuha's caught completely off guard. True, her t-shirt only came down just below her hips, roughly the length of a miniskirt. Her breasts were almost completely bared. The shirt hem was turned up as she felt exposed. Well, I don't mind H games with slutty girls, and I don't think the whole naked except for t-shirts thing is all that bad. You're being silly again. You could have gotten badly hurt. But Itaru shook his head. I got freaked out by the knife, but I don't think I really needed to be that scared. Unless I'm mistaken. Itaru rubbed the part of his neck where the knife blade was. When she held the knife at my throat, I could hear it, just a little. Hear what? She was probably crying. Crying? Under that helmet? After the whole battle with Suzuha? While holding a knife at Itaru's neck? But why? Because, you know, these were her family in a way as well. So, don't you think it's too early to jump to conclusions? Dad? Did you buy me that vanilla ice cream? Yeah, of course. I love to eat it. I'm a little tired. And then she almost fell forward. What? Tao managed to catch her before she hit the ground. Hey Suzuha. I'm fine, just let me rest a little. That was all she had the energy to say. She closed her eyes in her dad's arms, her consciousness melted away. There's a lot of time jumps in this. When July came, I saw Japan underneath it and I kept wanting to say Japan. When July came, the sun was shone down even harder on eastern Japan. Summer was truly here. The news had been saying that for days the heat island effect might make this the hottest summer yet. And then, on the first Sunday of July, I met with Maho in Akihabara. I was waiting on the open cafe at UPX when Maho arrived. She was a little late. Okabe, it's been a while. She ordered a nice coffee and took a deep breath. But you know, we talk to each other all the time on video chat. That's right, it doesn't feel like it's been that long. Her habit of paying no attention on her clothes or looks hadn't changed at all in the last 6 months. People were going to think we were an elementary school kid who decided to play at a friend's house. But it would have set her if I said that, so I never would. I had no idea you were here. If I hadn't happened to see Dr. Leanskin, I would never have found out. I wouldn't, yeah. I was going to contact you once things calmed down. We need to talk to each other about Chris at some point, evidently. You hear about the new, cases? Encephalitis? Dr. Leanskin is, at least. I'm his assistant, but I'm mostly in charge of Amadeus. The way she's acting, at least it doesn't seem that the Inskin is that evil-ish. At least what he told her. Have there been any problems? I assume not, since I'm still getting my usual reports. Yeah, nothing, really. Lately it's been a struggle to deal with Krisu, though. Hey! I heard a voice from my smartphone, which I placed on the table. What do you mean, by struggle? I left the Amadeus app turned on. Of course, Krisu could hear everything we said. She's gotten a little ruder since we first met. You're just afraid of me for no reason is all. Maybe. It was turning into an old relationship in the Alpha World line. It was turning into our old relationship in the Alpha World line, where we fought all the time. I was starting to lose track of whether this was good or a bad thing for me. I thought I was trying to forget about Krisu. You were pretty rude when we first met. And that was... She's rough on people when she meets them for the first time. You know why? Because they refuse to treat me like I'm my real age. The two of them spoke in unison. So I always get upset. Once I get to know someone, I can stop talking about my appearance, right? So I can speak more normally around them, is all. I guess I was right to not comment on her outfit. That was a close call. Anyway, back to Amadeus. It's an interesting sign that Chris has developed a bit of a sharp tongue. Side of her she never shows to me or the professor, right? That may be a sign of how she's opened up to you. I have not. Mouse simply smiled and ignored her. We can analyze those psychological changes as code. This is a change we never would have seen if she'd only been speaking to me and the professor. That alone means we're right to keep you on as a tester. Is that how it works? Dr. Leanskin is very impressed by this too. I think you're giving him too much credit. In fact, whenever he talks to me, he's always complaining. He's not very manly, you know. Well, I knew my personality has gone a bit negative, especially given what I've been through. But did you really need to say that to Maho right now? An eye for an eye, it is then. Also, just saying, I'm constantly on edge whenever I play this game now. Simply because I'm just expecting the world line to change randomly again. Like, the only people I feel comfortable around when I'm playing is Maho and Suzuha, because they've not got reading Stein of any sort. By the way, there's something I haven't told you yet. What is it? It's something I don't think you or Dr. Linskin are aware of. Wait, what are you going to tell her? Something Maho and the professor doesn't know? About me? Does the phrase Kuri Gohan and Kamehameha mean anything to you? Hey! A few weeks ago, I actually searched for Kuri Gohan and Kamehameha on a whim. It was the handle Krisu used on @channel when she was still alive. An online nickname, it's rare for people to use online nicknames on boards like @channel. If a user does not pick a nickname, they simply be displayed as anonymous. Anonymous. Damn it, another word. Never mind. It's the handle Krisu used at @channel when she was still alive. From what I've seen, the comment started in the summer of 2008 and abruptly stopped in July of 2010. And then started up again in December of that same year. Even now, in January 2011, there was still a period. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, interesting. If it wasn't Chris's ghost, and it was an imposter, then the one who could be writing these posts was... Okabe Rinto. Why do we have a private chat? So it was you after all. Do you think it's a bad idea not to tell them? It's an even worse idea to tell Maho. Why? Because I haven't breathed a word to her about me going on that channel. Why hide it? It's not a crime to read and comment on @channel. Isn't that right, @channeler Krisu? Listen, call me that one more time. I'll start making gossip about you on @channel. That's practically a crime, though. I couldn't help but laugh. Conversations like this brought me back so many memories. I used to be so full of myself to try that I'd tick off Krisu all the time. Hey, what are you talking about? Nothing, don't worry about it. Delete all your memories of today for your hippocampus, please. You can hide it, but she's gonna find out eventually. You just shut up. We two have gone a lot closer over the last 6 months. Maho, I'm sorry. Huh? Why are you apologizing? No, it's just... It's been so long since you and Okabe started seeing each other, and I'm doing all the talking. So why don't you two take some time and chat? That's not what I meant. It's all Okabe's fault for saying something weird, isn't it? Is it true? Kurigoa Kamehameha. That noise. Please don't say that. Just like that, real Krisu. Just like the real Krisu. She was extremely obsessed with hiding the fact that she was a @channeler. I need to cool off a little, so I'm going to hang up. Bye. Krisu disappeared from the screen. Krisu had been kind of rude lately, so it felt good to have a chance to get back at her. If I overdid it, she's probably going to hold a grudge, so this was likely a good place to stop. What's Kuri Gohan? If you really want to know, ask Krisu. If I explained it, she'll probably get mad and refuse to talk to me again. So how long are you going to be staying here? It might be longer than last time. I barely know anything about the new, I hate that word, that Dr. Linskin is researching. It's possible that I'll be sent back on my own, too. If you got any time, visit the lab. I'm sure Dao and Mayu would love to see you. Mayu, sure, but I don't know about Hashida. Mayuri is finally starting to understand Dao's true nature. Speaking of Dao, he should be on a date with Yuki Amane right now. By the way, what happened to Chris's laptop? I destroyed it. It was the best thing to do. I explained that to you before, didn't I? Yeah, you're right. She looked down, a sad expression on her face. I told her I was going to do it ahead of time, but it still must have upset her to see one of the last things she had to remember Chrisu be destroyed. Boo. Suzuha. About half of the seats of Gogo Curry were full. It was Sunday, but it was also after 2 p.m, and so lunchtime rush was over. Suzuha was sitting down in the restaurant far edge, a baseball cap pulled down over her face. She was hiding her face with the cap and carefully watching a couple sitting nearby. So we get to see this too, eh? Here you are, your Major Curry. Gogo Curry clerk. One of the items in Gogo Curry menu, it contains an extra large portion of rice, a pork loin katsu, chicken katsu, hot dogs, fried shrimp with tender sauce and a boiled egg. Now I'm really hungry. Thank you, game. You suck. Cheerful employee put down 2 giant silver plates or trays, more accurately in front of them. Suzuha could see the other customer looking at them, whispering. The couple really stood out, after all. The man was giant, who looked like he ate Major Curry all the time, but the woman was slim, pretty, and looked very kind. The combination of huge man and slim woman was unbalanced, as the combination of pretty girl and Major Curry. The Major Curry was big, it was huge. Suzuha knew from experience. The massive silver trays were loaded with rice and curry, and topped off with 2 fried cutlets, fried shrimp, sausage, and boiled egg, and an amount of cabbage. Stop it! Stop it! Food! No! There was 2 or 3 times as much curry as you would find in a normal dish, and the toppings were just as big. Even a grown young boy would find it hard to eat all of them. Suzuha was irritated. He ordered Major Curry on the first date with her dad. The Beauty and the Beast couple that Suzuha was watching was of course Itaru and Yuki. In the morning they'd gone to see a movie in Yachucho and then come to Akihabara and gone straight to Gogo Curry. Suzuha had followed them the whole time. That's why she couldn't believe Itaru's choice of date spots. I don't mind Gogo Curry at all. In fact, I like it, but it's your first date. There are other places you could have gone. She closed her spoon tight and gritted her teeth. Suzuha knew next to nothing about Japanese youth culture in 2011, and she knew she was, and even she knew it was a bad idea. Who knew what was going through Yuki's mind, or so Suzuha thought. But wow, it's even more amazing than in the pictures. Surprisingly, Yuki was ignoring the people around her and innocently enjoying the huge curry. I'm actually, if you can't eat it all, I'll finish it for you, okay? Okay, thank you, but I'm actually pretty good at this. Yeah? That's a surprise. Actually, I would actually always come here, I actually would always just come and look at the menu outside. I always wanted to try this. I'm glad you brought me here. I'm glad to hear it. Suzuha had evidently worried over nothing, but still she realized that Itaru was acting strangely. Ever since he'd come out of the movie theater, he was walking and talking strangely instead of his usual hunched posture. He was forcing himself to stand up straight. His every moment seemed oddly forced, as if he were a broken robot. And he'd downed glasses after glasses of water. Oh, I'm sorry. May I have some more water too? Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you. Taro poured water into Yuki's cup. Suzuha had a bad feeling, and she was right. Itaru was moving so awkwardly that he almost spilled the water on her hand. Are you okay? My hand just got a little wet. Anyway, let's eat before it gets cold, okay? She looks so happy. Yuki quickly wiped down the table with a handkerchief. They grabbed the fork and spoon, and there were stars in her eyes. Okay, let's eat. Let's eat. Yuki seemed to be really enjoying her meal, but Taro was very formal and quiet. He was taking little nibbles out of a piece of fried cutlet, like a squirrel eating a nut. The whole time they weren't saying a word. What are you doing, Dad? Mom's not going to want to be around you if you're like that. She decided to send him a message online telling him to get his act together. When she just taken out her phone when... Here's your major curry with extra wok. Wok? A huge plate was laid on the table in front of her. The other customers started murmuring again. Come to think of it, when she'd followed them into the store, she ordered her usual major curry with extra wok. Woks? And then forgot about it. Now everyone was going to focus on her. In a small shop like this, it was suicide. That was amazing. Just as she expected, her eyes met Yuki's. Suzuha, I didn't realize you were here. Oh, yeah, what coincidence seeing you here, Yuki, brother. You should have said something. No, I didn't even notice you, really. She realized that she should probably leave, but she could go without at least taking a bite of the major curry in front of her. Experience in the war had left her completely unable to waste food. She felt Yuki and Taro stared at her. She reluctantly picked up her spoon. Anyway, yeah, you two enjoy yourself. Her only choice was to finish her extra large curry as soon as possible. She couldn't let herself be in the way. Oh. For a second, Yuki came over and picked up Suzuha's plate. Huh? Excuse me, can my friend sit with us? No, this is meant to be a date! Damn it! Sure, go ahead. She says it's okay. She? I thought it was a he. Oh well. Let's all sit together. Wait, why? Because you ordered major curry too. I think we need to have a race. Ashida could be the judge. And before Suzuha could respond, Yuki moved her plate over to their table. No, wait, so Itaru? Daru isn't able to participate? She had no choice but to follow, but before she sat down, she whispered in Yukari's ear. You're on a date, right? Huh? Oh yeah, I'm on a date. It makes me blush when I say it out loud. Hehe. Taro didn't react at all, but even though she was sure he overheard that. I've never been on a date, so I don't know how they work, but I don't know to have a curry speeding contest with another girl in the middle of a date. I don't really know. But you see, a lot of anime and manga, but you see it in a lot of anime and manga, don't you? A little sister who doesn't want to lose her big brother runs up to the girlfriend and says, let's have a competition. For some reason, Yuki seemed incredibly enthusiast. Yeah. Says I was overwhelmed by her energy. I don't really know anything about that. Is that how it works, brother? But even when she turned to a tower for help, he was just awkwardly sat there eating curry like a robot. Brother? He awkwardly turned his head to face it. The rest of him stayed completely still. Did you say something? What's wrong? You're acting weird. I'm not acting weird. I'm not acting weird at all. Suzuha glanced back at Yuki. And for the first time, Yuki looked concerned. Oh man, this episode. Oh. This game is something else. And with that, I'm going to end this episode. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one where we'll see the final parts of Suzuha's date. Till next time, everybody.